Oh, yeah.
Still doesn't have something where
I know.
we talked about putting it in, and the moisture control in it. But,
Well, I had to corral, we just got a new puppy and I was trying to corral him to get him back in the house.
you know, it's, amazing. I mean, the other house,
Literally just, we brought her home yesterday and
you know, 40 years,
everything's new.
you know, and,
She's tiny.
oh yeah, that,
She's trying to figure out what's where.
yeah, but in the 30s, that still should have been hard. With that 30, that's 30 years old. Oh, it's 30 years old. Okay, I thought you said it was.
She said we have a quorum. She said we have a quorum.
Yeah, we have a quorum, let's get started.
Yep. All right, I showed the time to be 3:34 p.m. So with that, I'd like to ask for a roll call, please.
Okay. Vice Chairman LaBeach,
Here?
Commissioner Avery,
Here.
Commissioner Bell,
Present.
Commissioner Berube is absent, Commissioner Crawford,
Present?
Commissioner Goodness,
Here.
Commissioner Javid is absent, Commissioner Macon is absent, Commissioner Provo,
Here.
and Commissioner Segee is absent, and Commissioner Templeton.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Everyone was sent the minutes from our last meeting dated December 13th, 2021. This time I'd like to ask for any discussion, corrections, or approval of those minutes as they were presented.
I make a motion that the minutes be approved as written for December 13th.
I second
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, or I guess we should say any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And the minutes are approved. All right, our first, we'll move into our regular meeting. Our first item is PZ 2021-397. It's a request for a certificate of appropriateness to widen the front porch and remove a door. The applicant is Ava Costello, and the location is 2360 Rush Street.
Ms. Evia Castillo is requesting permission to widen the front porch and remove the door at 2360 Rusk. She is in the process of renovating the structure into a single-family home, as it was once a duplex. Ms. Castillo is requesting permission to remove the second front door in order to install one entrance to the home. Additionally, she needs to repair and replace the rotted wood to the existing front porch. During this process, she would like to widen the porch to become 6 foot wide and 17.5 feet long. She intends to have architectural features to closely match the existing porch. Staff recommends approval of this request. This is the subject property. These are the proposed columns, so going back to this one, the ones that outline the front porch, these are the proposed columns. This is the existing handrail. This is the proposed porch rails that or the handrails that she would like to install. And then this is the new porch dimensions. This is the new door that she would like to install versus the 2 doors to make it into this single one with the side lights. And she is in the audience today, if you have any questions for the applicant.
All right, first questions for staff. Anybody have any questions for staff? Do we know the new size of the porch? It looks like it's about the same depth as it is now. When it is widened, the porch will now be outside the overhangs of the front porch cover.
I believe it's within, but this is the only drawing that I received, so we can certainly ask the applicant.
Okay, but there's no, where I was going with it was there's no modifications that you know of the roof.
No,
or the
it'll be
building
within the
itself.
same.
It's
She's
just
trying
the-
to.
Just the floor area itself.
Right, yeah, she's just trying to expand and keep the same architectural design.
Okay.
well, as closely as she can.
All right, any other questions for staff? All right. Ms. Castillo, are you here? If you would come forward and just state your name and your address, just for our records. And then if you wouldn't mind explaining to us what you're trying to do and kind of your reasons why you're doing it.
My name is Elvia Castillo, and my address is 2360 Ross Street, Beaumont, Texas, 77702.
Okay. It's okay. If you want her to translate for you, that's fine.
So we were wanting to extend and
If you
change.
would speak up a little bit louder.
Yes, sorry about
Yeah.
that. So, we are wanting to make modifications to the porch because it is currently in a bit of a state of deterioration. We would try to find columns that were as close as possible to the design. And as mentioned, it was just the extending the porch, nothing changing to the rest of it. And for the single door, both doors are rotting a bit due to water, and we didn't see necessity as to buy two of them because it is a single family home.
Have you already installed new windows? It looks like the windows have been replaced.
Sí, las ventanas son nuevos. Los que están enfrente. ¿Los cambiaste?
Hace tiempo solamente esos dos.
Those two windows have been replaced before, but it was a while back.
Okay.
That's fine. They look good.
One thing that will be very important, and I'd like to see it be a condition of your approval. The trim around the doors that you have right now, we want you to put that exactly the same with the new doors. So the trim, the part that goes over the top of the door, it's not just a flat piece of wood, it has a little decorative piece to the top of it. And it's in place there right now, so it's something that could be removed and put back on the house. But those are important details to this particular style of house. So we want to make sure that somebody just doesn't go put up a square board around the new doors.
Oh, right.
We'd like for you to use the same profiles as the trim on the doors, both over the top and on the sides.
Oh, yes, sir, that's fine.
Inside, you can do whatever you want to do, but outside, we need to stick so that all the moldings match.
Oh, yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Oh, yes.
Anything else from anybody? I think that's the main architectural component. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll open it up for discussion or motion.
I'll make a motion that, we approve based on the condition that you outlined of the door trim. And that, also that the extension doesn't mess up the roof line. Did it?
Okay,
That's what
the
she had
extension of
already
the porch has to stay under the profile of the roof.
And you have no objection to the style of the door that's proposed? It's not really an issue. To me, I see that more as an addition. Style door versus the one.
With having the two windows.
It is different. So we have a motion and a second, and now it's open for discussion.
Well, I would propose that we condition our approval also on keeping the door a similar style as the existing door. In terms of it being more of a mission, style door.
All right, I need an amendment to your motion in your second, if you feel like that's a condition.
Yes, with the amendment, to my original motion that the door be in similar style to the current home.
And we're okay on the second? Motion and second. And we'll leave it to staff.
Yes.
We're gonna leave that to staff to oversee it. I'm gonna, Ms. Castillo, we'd like for you to keep the same style of door. This is a totally different style, that is not in the same architectural style as the house. So,
And that the staff will help her.
yeah, and staff will help you, but you'll need to come back to staff with a door that's more similar to the style of the ones that you have now. It's okay? All right, we have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, and it is approved with those stipulations. All right, our next file is a request for a certificate of demolition to demolish a house at 2019 Pecos Street, file number PZ 2021-431.
Okay. Boyd Meyer, building official, requests a certificate of demolition for the house located at 2019 Pecos Street. The structure has mold throughout and the floor is rotting in many places. The roof would need to be replaced due to the deep hole in the middle of it, including the rotted eaves and soffit. The owner has signed a demolition consent form. Based on the extensive repairs needed for this structure, building code staff is recommending a raise order. Planning staff recommends approval of this request. We received 5 responses in favor, 0 in opposition.
On this picture that you're showing us, is this a current picture?
Yes, this
Okay,
was
so the
taken.
hole's on the back side of the house?
Yeah, this was taken last Friday.
Okay.
So this is another picture of the front.
And this house is owned by an individual or owned by Gulf Coast Electric next door?
This is another picture of the eave, floors, the roof. You can see the mold, and this is a picture of the red tag. We do have the demolition assistant here if we have any questions or if
Okay.
staff has any questions.
Would you like to say anything? Oh, I'm sorry.
Unless y'all have questions.
I guess I'm puzzled as to why Gulf Coast has not taken any steps to do anything themselves.
He wants it torn down, so
And he doesn't want to pay for it. It was mine.
My question would be, is this house on the spare Beaumont survey?
It says it's not.
No.
Okay.
No, ma'am, it's not.
What year was it built?
I can find out on JCAD real quick if you'd like.
That most probably will not be accurate at all.
That's true. Normally we get Either JCAD or, we get the built, year from Spare Survey if it's in Spare Survey, typically.
Well, they are not here, I know, because I know those individuals. But in my opinion, I always have problems. This is not a business that's going out of business. This is a business that's a very good business.
Well,
I just hate,
and quite honestly, I've seen houses in way worse condition that can be restored, so. I make a motion that we deny this request.
I second.
okay, we have a motion and a second for denial of the request. Any other comments, questions?
If he owns it, can't he tear it down himself?
That I think is the point.
Oh, okay.
You know, if it was not owned by anybody, or if it was a little business that was a little mom and pop and you just knew that they just didn't have the money to do it, but I mean, I think it's a waste of taxpayer money, to tell you the truth.
I have a question. How long have they owned this property, do you know?
That I could probably definitely find out. If you don't mind me looking on my phone. Of course, I turned off my phone. I'm sorry, I gotta turn it back.
What's that? Ms. Castillo, y'all are welcome to leave. You don't have to stay here for the whole proceeding. Thank y'all. The staff's here, so.
You could, you would need to speak with, Miss Elena Lucky, upstairs. She might be able to help you. If not, you'll have to wait until after. It looks to be 2014.
All right. Any other questions, staff? I'm going to abstain because I know all of these individuals very well. So with that, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of denial of the proposal?
I think if you abstain, then we do not have a quorum.
Okay.
Can we table it? Do we have a quorum
That's
next
always an
month?
option, yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
And that'll give them a opportunity to come before us and state why they need the city to tear that building down.
Okay.
All right, we'll move to the next file. It's PZ 2021-440. It's a request for certificate of appropriateness to paint brick. The applicant is Troy Marshall, and the location is 2205 Laurel Street.
Okay. Troy Marsaw requests permission to paint the brick facade and the columns of the commercial structure located at 2205 Laurel Street. The color he intends to paint the brick is Sherwin-Williams Fleur de Sel. Sorry if I just botched that. Which is an off-white color. The rest of the building, not covered in brick, will also be painted this color. Our ordinance states brick surfaces not previously painted may not be painted unless the applicant establishes that the color and texture of replacement brick cannot be matched with that of the existing brick surface, or that the painting is necessary to restore or preserve the brick itself. Having said that, staff recommends denial of this request. It does not appear that the applicant is here.
All right.
So, oh, I'm sorry. This is the front or the subject property. This is just showing the side of it with a little bit more brick. Those brick pieces that are down the sides of the building, those are in the request to be painted white. And then that's just a close-up. I didn't realize there was another slide. This is the color that he intends to paint the brick.
So do you know why he's painting? Is it just to change the general overall appearance? They're taking the sign down of the previous tenant or owner or whatever?
Yeah, so when I talked to him last week, his interior designer recommended it. So I think that's really the main reason, is just trying to go with design concepts.
Can you go back to the front facade picture of the entrance? Okay, thanks.
I don't know why somebody won't put more maintenance on themselves.
I don't know either. Plus, it doesn't fall under one of the categories of a reason for painting it, does it?
No. From what I read out of it is that the brick cannot be matched, or the brick is in such disrepair that paint would help it remain as it is.
And he's not looking at breaking any of the siding that's there?
No, he's gonna paint it that white color. So either way, if the brick was permitted or not, they are gonna paint that the tin or metal.
The middle part. And y'all are recommending not painting it because it obviously is in our codes. That's more for like historical homes. This obviously is a new structure.
Right, but it is within the district, and of course that's why it's before you guys.
Looks like it needs to be high pressured, that mold. Mildew.
Just the mildew.
Help it a lot,
Clean it.
yeah.
The deal too is if he'd come with a scheme that there might be 2 or 3 different colors of paint and kind of show you this is what we're painting it, it's going to enhance the look of it, this kind of thing. But just to blanket, just paint everything the same color, I guess that's a preference, but.
My question is why?
Yeah.
That's mainly all that him and I discussed on this property last time, is just whoever he hired as the designer is recommending to paint the brick white. So I think how it seemed to come off is that he could go either way with it, but he's just doing what his designer was telling him to do.
I don't know, I think if I lived across the street, I'd rather see the brick than I'd see painted all one color brick.
Boring.
Could we table this one and ask them, the designer, to maybe come up with a different scheme? Where there was more of a contrast than just, because obviously if they have a designer and it's not just them wanting to paint it one color, they're.
Well, if we denied the request, then they could
Yeah,
still
they can
come
come
back
back.
with a different proposal. I make a motion that we deny the request.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second for denial. Any other discussion? I mean, I'm kind of like you all, once you paint brick, once it starts peeling the second time, it's gonna look
My house is painted.
a whole bunch worse. And it all depends on who's got it and how they maintain their stuff, but,
It's hard to pressure wash without taking the paint off.
right. All right, any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of denial of the request, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, that one is denied. Our next request is PZ 2021-441. It's a request for a certificate of appropriateness to resize windows. The applicant is Jason Gums. Location is 1891 Broadway.
Okay. Jason Gums, property owner, is seeking permission to resize 11 windows to the triplex located at 1891 Broadway. The original profile of the window is 32 inches by 80 inches, and Mr. Gum is requesting to reduce the size to 32 inches by 60 inches. The windows to be resized are going to be located to the north, west, and east facade of the triplex. According to Jefferson County Appraisal District, the structure was built in 1993. Building Codes has no records of permits ever being issued to this property. Staff recommends approval of the request with the following conditions: that windows shall be 1/1 in appearance and made either of vinyl or wood, and 2 window caps and trim shall be installed to match the existing windows. This is the subject property. This is the side off of 3rd Street. And a zoom in of the window, so that you guys can see the window caps that are on there currently. This is the elevation drawing that they provided. So this is what's existing. See if you can see my mouse here. No. There we go. So these windows over here, I'm sorry. This window, I believe, and forgive me, I think it's these 3 windows that are 80 inches long. So they want to reduce these to 60 inches. These 2 are 32 by 80 inches. Everything else is going to be replaced as is. These windows are already 60 inches, I believe. And then, as you can see, these are 80 inches long. So going to what the proposed is, she wants all of the ones that were once 80 inches to become 60 inches in length. These 8 windows that are on the side, or the left side of the house, those are going to be remaining 8 windows. They're just going to be 32, I can't read that far, I'm sorry. 24 inches by 60. So same as before, just replacing. I believe the main reason was that it was tough to find 80-inch long windows. I guess it's not a common thing. And the reason I brought up when it was built in 1993 and that we have no record of it is because during research process was trying to find the historical value or what time era it fell into. It's tough to tell. So with that being said,
I know that it wasn't built in 1993 because
Yeah.
I used to work at Mr. Adams' law firm in the summers during college, which was summer of 90, 91, 92, and they renovated it. I want to say 91 when they renovated it, repainted everything, and I've never seen any
there's
maintenance since then.
To me, there's nothing about this house that says it was built in 1993.
right, and that's what
1933, maybe.
yeah, that's what was kind of weird about it. It wasn't in spare. We couldn't find any permits on it. I couldn't track to when it was.
Unless it's 1893, maybe.
This has got to be a 30s.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
1933.
30s.
Were they building anything on Pier and Bean in 1993? No.
Right.
I think so.
J-Cat is
Do you have a
not
picture of the side of the house, not a drawing, where it has the 60-inch window already? Do you have a picture of that, an actual?
When you say, the
She
60
wants to
inch,
see
like,
the whole side of the house.
Well, on
View
this,
Third
on,
Street.
yeah, on the Third Street side view, it says that currently there's 3 80-inch, and then there's 2 60-inch. I was trying to see.
yeah,
the-
I think it's, I
behind
should have
the tree.
taken one back behind, I believe it's on the other side of that tree that, it's getting blocked. I did not get one on the interior side. I do apologize, or the, left side of the house. But these are what I have. The applicant is here, if we wanted to ask any questions.
All right. Any other questions for staff? Obviously, Jason's not here, but if you're here to speak, if you just come up and give us your name and your address for our records, please.
My name's Shelley Gums, and I'm stepping in for my husband, Jason Gums.
Okay, your address, please.
The address of the home or my address?
Your address.
Okay, 6020 Longwood Street, Beaumont, Texas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, can you tell us what you're trying to do and the reason that you want to change the window sizes?
Okay, what we're trying to do is basically do a reface. I know it's a lot of, everything has to be approved and everything. So it's going to be a rental property, and we're just trying to fix it up, basically. That's all we're trying to do. And the window sizes is the issue. It's so hard to get. We made some calls, and it's taken like 3 to 4 months to get the windows in. It's the 32 by 80, and they have the 32 by 60 in the store. So that's the reason why we was going that route,
Now, are you planning on putting back the same size siding and exactly the identical window trim?
Yes,
around
sir.
your windows?
Everything's going to be the same. Only issue we have is the window, yes.
And you're using the 1/1.
Yes,
window.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now, these windows, the main ones that you want to replace, they're not, you can't view them from the front of the house or the street. I'm talking about the street view, the side of the house, the front of the house. They're on the side facing your neighbor,
Yes.
the left side of the house.
Yes, that's some of them. Those have 8 windows on that one. It's like 8.
There's 2.
My husband he don't draw very
Front
well,
of the
but
house is no changes,
mm-hmm.
and then the
No, there's changes on that front.
it says right here, front of the house, no changes. These are all 30.
How long
So
have
that's
you
what
owned
she
the house, ma'am?
Well, we go into closing this week on the home.
Oh, you're
And I'm
purchasing
just
it.
getting ahead of the game.
See the
I see.
original?
Yes, ma'am.
It's 32 by 80.
Do you know when the home was built?
Okay.
I was listening to you guys. I don't know either. They said all we showing is what she told you was what was it, 19?
It's not.
All we
Yeah.
had was 1993.
Yes, and I don't understand that either.
Okay, so we are replacing windows that face the street and the side street.
Well, the ones that we can't fix, we was trying to get those replaced that way. Some of them we're gonna try to just reframe them and do the same thing. Try to just fix them. Some can open and close, some can't. So
Have you gotten a contractor to give you a bid? Because, as Mr. Levish was just saying, you'd have to have the siding, so you can't just patch in some siding. You'd have to match all the siding, all the window trim.
yes, ma'am. We have had 2 contractors come out. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
All right, I'll open it up for discussion. think it really changes the look of the house to
Yeah.
cut 20 inches off of a window.
Yeah, I do too. From not just from the outside, but from the inside too. You just don't change it a bunch.
And are y'all needed, sorry, I should have asked you this, are y'all needing to change them because they're rotted, or they have structural damage, or you just want to change them and put new windows?
It's the reason why it's gonna take like 3 months to get the 32 by 80 windows in to replace.
But why were you
Why do
looking?
you wanna change them? They don't
Because
work?
some of them look like they was painted closed, and some of them are rusted, and we thought that'd be easy just to change the windows out.
It would also be, for building codes, and fire, they would need means of egress within the, each unit. As far as the details of going into how, how much they need or how many windows, I don't know that, but I do know that fire would require means of egress.
Yeah, all bedroom windows have to have egress.
I'm gonna make a motion that the, certificate PZ 2021-441 be approved.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
With conditions?
I think the conditions need to be that the same trim needs to be put back around the windows and the siding needs to match exactly what's already there.
That's this elevation with the multiple windows.
I think that the shutters have to be put back on.
But the shutters
Front window.
Yes, ma'am. I think that's the only place to have a shutter is the front,
Well,
yeah. We'll put
I'll-
that back.
So that's the only window that has shutters, is that
Yes.
what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll amend my motion to include that the shutters need to be put back on once the window's changed on that one window where they're existing.
Okay.
And when you change the size of the window, of course, you have to change the size of the shutters so that it looks appropriate. All right, we have a second?
I'll second it now.
All right, we have a motion and a second for approval with the conditions as stated. Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Me,
Okay, can we, I'm gonna go back over and ask you to raise your hands, please. All for approval, please signify by raising your hand. Okay, 3 for approval. All right, everyone against? That's 4-3 vote. So it's denied. All right, we're gonna move on to our next file, which is PZ 2021-448. It's a request for a certificate of demolition to demolish a house. The address is 2169 South Street.
Boyd Meyer, building official, requests a certificate of demolition for the house located at 2169 South Street. The structure is unsecure. The exterior of the home requires siding and windowsills to be placed as they are rotted. The interior damage includes sagging floors, collapsed ceiling, termite damage to structural beams, and exposed electrical wires throughout the structure. Based on the extensive repairs needed for this structure, the building code staff is recommending a raise order. Planning staff recommends approval of this request. We received 3 responses in favor, 0 in opposition.
It's a shame, it's a cute little house.
Yeah.
Some nice architectural detailing to it.
So this is the subject property. This is a close-up of the door. And we have the demolition assistant here, of course.
Who, and what's the status of the owner?
This owner has never responded to us, and they owe $3,509.94 in back taxes. So I'm assuming either they've just left the property or they're deceased because they have never reached out to us.
And it's vacant?
Yes.
How many months in the rear are they?
It's $3,509.94, so I'm not sure. We just do the amount that they actually still owe.
And how much does it cost the city to demo a house?
It depends on the square footage. Oh, sorry. It depends on the square footage of them. Anywhere from they're going about 4,000 to 5,000 a house now.
Right. Ms. Bell, was that a motion that you made? Okay. All right, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we deny the request.
Do we have a second? All right, it lacks a second, so I'll ask for another motion.
Can I ask, do you wanna deny it based
Well,
on?
Well, I agree that the city needs to be able to collect its $3,590 in back taxes. But I mean, the quality of the house itself, the architectural quality to me is valuable, and I don't know why the property could not be put up for auction versus demolition to try to recoup those funds for the city instead of the city spending another $5,000 to have it torn down. I don't know if we're being good stewards of our money or good stewards of our historical architecture.
Well, actually, the 3,500 in taxes, that mostly goes to the county, and a majority would go to the school board, so the city would be getting less than 1,000 from that anyway, so.
But
No, I agree with you, I'm just saying it's even
When I say city, I'm
less,
really
yeah.
thinking taxpayer.
Yeah.
Bottom line, I'm thinking taxpayer.
Can it be auctioned off legally?
To answer your question, I just pulled it. Their taxes are $179.80 a year, so it's behind quite a few years.
100 and something.
$179.80 a year.
To the county or to the city?
That's
Everything?
taxes, period. That's all they owe every year. So they're
Because it's in such poor shape that they can't tax it at a
Correct.
higher level.
correct.
They have a very low level.
And yes, it will, once the taxes get usually over 10,000, around 15,000, then Jefferson County will take it for the sheriff's auction. It may sell, it may not. If not, it'll go to a second auction, and then at that point, they usually don't try to sell it again.
We'll all be gone
Right.
from this
Yeah.
So
earth
why
before
did they
it-
have to wait that many years? Why did they have to wait that many years?
That's what I was.
Because they have so many people that are behind on taxes. They've got way more houses that are willing that they can sell and get the back taxes on, and
Well, I make a motion, I'd like to revise my motion. I make a motion to table this, request for demolition, and I personally would like to do more research on the options, that we have with the city or the county versus demolition of this.
I mean, it must have been a lot of years if it's $100 and something a year.
19,
Yes.
based on the
It's
number
already
you gave
been
me,
19
it
years that we have
calculated
not
19
tried to auction
years.
it off.
no, they won't auction it until it's actually about $10,000 to
Or
$15,000.
Yeah.
10 years.
So
'Cause there's
if you
nothing
reach
that-
a certain amount, they're just gonna let it sit.
Yeah, $3,000 is nothing to them
This house will fall down on its own.
before
Right.
it sells at an auction. Yeah,
It's already in a pretty unsafe condition.
very much so.
This is more about public safety than it
Yes.
is about architectural
Very much so.
preservation.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion that the certificate PZ 2021-448 be approved.
We have a motion, do we have a second? All right, it dies for lack of a second. So, therefore,
Now what though, hon?
we've
Just so y'all will remember on this one, it does have severe termite damage, so that's gonna be a big issue, and then the neighbors are gonna start getting the termites.
Mhm.
They might get termites anyway.
Did you talk to the neighbors? Did they say how long it's been empty?
No, we don't actually, speak to the neighbors. We just, when we get a complaint about it, and most of the time it comes from the neighbors, we go out and look at it and assess the damage to see how unsafe it is.
Do you board up the front door or something? I mean,
We don't do that, no, that's the owner's responsibility to
This
keep
one
it
looks like
secured until we get it torn down. Cause if something did happen, say somebody went in it and it fell, and it fell on them and hurt them, it's gonna be the owner's responsibility, not the city's.
good. I mean, not good if something fall on, but good that the city doesn't have to be responsible.
All right, would you like to try this one more time? Other than that, we're just gonna have to say that we have no action on it and that. Anyone? All right,
Okay.
it dies for a lack of either or.
Would you guys like to table it for next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it'd be, if we table it, it'd be nice to have somebody come in that knows the demolition program, that, that administers it, and,
Yeah.
That'd be me.
okay. To just maybe generically go over the whole process, and then we can maybe have more information to make a better decision on it.
Was there anything specifically that you guys want me to research to come back with this?
Well, I'm curious to know, have we, if you're saying that the owner has died, has there been any type of search through the probate court to
No,
find?
we're assuming that they've either passed away or they've just left the house. We don't know for sure.
Well, I would like more research as to who the owner potentially could be, or their heirs.
Do you have the ability to do that? And
Yes,
so,
and we found nothing.
excuse me?
Yes, and we found nothing. I do a record search, when we tag the house, I search for the deed or the heirs that's listed on the Jefferson County website, and there's nothing except for the owner.
On JCAD, they don't list the owner,
Yeah, we have the owner.
but they haven't responded to you.
And
Well, we do
have you spoken with the county tax assessor office, and they haven't,
I go
they
through-
haven't had success getting in touch with them on the back taxes?
I go through, JCAD, and then I go to the county website, and, we pull the taxes. I notify whoever's paid the taxes for the last 5 years. If there's nobody been paying taxes, whoever the last person is that paid the taxes, I notify them, and then I do a deed search to see if there's a bank, an assumed name, heirs to the property. Sometimes we have warranty deeds that don't get filed with JCAD like they're supposed to, but I'll see them on the backside. There's nothing.
Do you have hundreds of houses like this?
Yes, ma'am.
It's been quite a deal.
374 to be exact.
For all the years that I've been
Really?
on,
Yes, ma'am.
it's been tough on these little houses. On the bigger ones, sometimes somebody will pick up the ball and run with it because there's such value to the bigger ones, but these little ones,
It actually is surprising. I have more people buy the small ones than the big ones. Cause they're cheaper to rehab.
it's
'Cause
just,
once you red tag a house, everything has to be brought up to code, so they have to redo the electrical, plumbing, everything.
so hopefully, it'd be nice to have some more information, but I doubt if you're gonna get any more information than what we have. It's a shame, cause I'm like you, I hate to see these little houses that have neat architectural components to them go by the wayside. When we have so many people that need these little houses and don't mind
So many people that are needy.
putting sweat equity in them to fix them. All right, is there any other business?
Sorry, the code report.
Hi guys. We have 7 new affidavits that have been completed, 2 closed cases, 7 new charges have been filed, 20 court appearances, 10 court inspections, 10 court re-inspections, certificate of appropriateness CAs 2, 1 new general nuisance violation, 2 new general nuisance re-inspections, 12 new historic violations, 3 historic re-inspections, 2 new stop work orders have been posted, 5 new JMV violations, 11 re-inspections for JVs, 5 new litter violations, 8 litter re-inspections, 15 weed re-inspections, 6 city compliance weeds, 1 owner compliance weeds, 1 new zoning violation, and 1 new re-inspection for zoning.
Any questions? You've been busy.
I've also have, last time we spoke, it was about, Tent City. We've also gotten, everything is in compliance there. We are working with legal on that as well.
Good, thank you.
All right. Board,
That was a question you guys had last time.
anything else from the commission? Thank you all for your time. We appreciate that, and we'll stand adjourned. Thank you, staff.
Thank you.